Gauravani Pracharini, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashadi Deshtarini, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi, Gaur Bhaktavrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear friends, Vaishnavas, I'm so grateful all of you join in this reading session of the book, The Four Questions. And I'm very happy to share that I communicated to His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu that all of us will be reading this book and seeking his prayers and blessings, which he wonderfully said, Tathastu. That means his blessings are with us. So he replied back, and it is so nice to receive the blessings of the author, right? And not just an author, but he's a pure Vaishnava, right?
That's my. Oh, this.
So anyone, okay, everyone please share in a few words or a couple of words what you recall from the last session. Anyone recalls anything from the last session, session 1? Yes, Vidhi?
We read the introduction and the praises part of the book.
Yeah, we talk about a lot of praises from different devotees, different people of different background, young and old. Excellent. What else we read? Yes, Karina?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. He was talking about in one part of in the acknowledgments, he was saying about all these different people, without them this book wouldn't be what it is now, and he was just being very grateful to the people that helped throughout making this book.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. The acknowledgements and the gratitude, right? And we also talk about the deer story, right? The deer is looking for the musk and humans are looking for happiness. So we discussed that story. And what else? Then finally, we came to this picture. You all recall? And that's where we're going to start from today. So we covered some thoughts. All of you shared interesting insights about this picture, which is the whole purpose, asking questions. The one who asks questions can lead to enlightenment. Adhatu Brahma Jigyasa. People are just walking, most of them, you're not generalizing, but most of them are walking aimlessly with their heads down. Don't ask me. I just need to get there. And then you just need to be a millionaire. Hey, what will you do getting there? No, no, no. I don't have time to think about that. But the intelligent people hold to this anchor which comes from the Guru Parampara. And it starts with a question, whether it's Gita, whether it's Bhagavatam, they're all but question and answer. So with that, let's move forward and start reading from here. Okay, Vedi, you want to start the first 2 pages?
The most powerful punctuation mark. Punctuation marks do practical work. A period stops us. A colon announces upcoming information. A comma divides data. But the most powerful punctuation is the question mark. It's shaped like a hook, and with it, you can catch people's attention. You can snag ideas from the depths of your subconscious. It can take you beyond the mundane to the metaphysical. With the question, you can discover truths of ancient wisdom, investigate your own heart, and discover your true eternal nature as an individual conscious being. Questions help us find our way. In his article, Self-Actual Engineer, Professor Thomas P. Siege of Arizona State University writes, "Too often, we underestimate the importance of understanding our question. When you get lost in your search for knowledge, ask yourself, what question was I trying to answer? And see if that helps you find your way again." Playwright Eugene Ionesco ventures, "It is not the answer that enlightens, but the question." Rhetorician rhetoricians say that whoever is asking the questions in a conversation is leading that conversation. Whoever has the questions holds the power, Elisa Hegura writes in her blog, Developerhood. The conversation is being directed to questions, and the person who expresses them is actually the one who decides what the conversation is about.
Wow. Quite interesting, right? Okay, let's read a little bit more and then we'll take some thoughts. Who would like to read? Raise your hand. Avni, want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. The Harvard Business Review offers this advice. The wellspring of all questions is wonder and curiosity and a capacity for delight. We pose and respond to queries in the belief that the magic of a conversation will produce a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. Sustained personal engagement and motivation in our lives as well as our work require that we are always mindful of the transformative joy of asking and answering questions. The question-answer format is the basis of one of the core educational processes in the West, the Socratic method, in which the classroom experience is a shared dialogue between teacher and students, in which both are responsible for pushing the dialogue forward through questioning. The teacher, or leader of the dialogue, asks probing questions to expose the values and beliefs which frame and support the thoughts and statements of the participants. In the inquiry, the students ask questions as well, both of the teacher and each other. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.9 tells of an incident in which a renowned teacher, Sutta, appreciates the questions of his audience, a group of sages who have gathered to ask him about the purpose of life. The sages ask, "Please, therefore, being blessed with many years, explain to us in an easily understandable way what you have ascertained to be the absolute and ultimate good for the people in general." Sutta replies, "O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Krishna and so are of relevance to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self." 1.2.5. I use the seemingly contradictory phrase, "questions are the answer," to draw attention to the sheer magic of a question. The principle is simple and is thus one of the most overlooked miracles of the world. When you ask the right questions with the right attitude, you can learn the answers to all of life's secrets. When we sincerely ask relevant questions to qualified people, we can be sure that we'll get the answers we seek. Even before we know whom to ask, by merely formulating our questions, we have begun the process. Those who think they already have the answers cannot sincerely inquire, and therefore will not receive solutions that will help them to progress. A colleague of mine likes to say, there are 4 little words that block one's ability to learn. I already know that. But to those who are both willing to ask questions and are open-minded enough to hear the answers, the truth behind the world's mysteries is at hand. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Vidhi, Avni, for reading that. So what did we read so far? Let's kind of summarize that. Okay. Okay. Basically, we read, if we have to summarize the question, the importance of asking questions, right? Importance of asking right questions. Who would like to share anything about in connection with what we read? Anything struck you? Anything you liked? Anything kind of held your attention? Yes, Vidhi? Come on, the more faster you do it, the better it gets. You can type in, you can speak, whatever it works. Yes, Vidhi?
Where he said that, where he what he said about how questions hold the power in conversation, and that's how it leads to conversation.
Yeah, questions. One who's asking question is leading the conversations, right? Excellent. They hold out. It's the most powerful punctuation mark. A full stop stops, right? Right. Questions are the answers. Great. Yes, Ansh? Questions lead to answers.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
another is a shloka related to questions is Tadvitti Pranipatena Praniprashnena Sevya. One should ask questions from
Very
the
thoughtful.
spiritual master.
Yeah, one should ask question in the right mood. We just saw here the right mood also. Sometimes people may think, oh, I already know everything, right? They will not receive solutions that help them to progress. So what does it tell us? We should be some humble and submissive, right? That's basically connected to which verse is that? 4.3 of Bhagavad Gita. So excellent connection there. Open-minded, right? Arjuna was open-minded. If we are closed, we cannot learn. If the glass is already full, we cannot learn. Bhagavatam also is all about question answers. Asking right questions with right attitude, very important. We can learn all the answers. So it's not just what questions we ask, but how we ask questions also is very important. We can discover the real truth of life. Investigate your own heart, right? Questions help us to dive deeper in our own, self. Why am I looking for this? Why do I want? One should pause and ask rather than just running blindly, right? What else? Pause and ask. Ask in right mood to discover ourselves, right? To understand the goal of life, is it not? Any other thoughts? Any from something struck you from what we read? Okay, let's move on further. Yes, Vinita, you want to read from here?
Hare Krishna. Start your spiritual quest by asking questions. The word question comes from quest, to search for something, dating back to the medieval sense of romantic adventure, especially undertaken by a knight in search of the Holy Grail. And query, from the Latin quere, to ask, is combined with ad for emphasis to form acquire. So the knowledge we acquire comes from our queries, our questions. When you ask a question, you embark on a journey. The Buddha started his journey with a question. One day he left his father's protective care and ventured outside the royal palace. There he saw sick people, old people, and people in fear and anxiety. He asked, "What is the cause of this misery?" Now that's a big question. And it was the bridge over which he crossed from worldly life to a life of contemplation and enlightenment. The most important journey in your life begins when you dare to ask big questions. But I'm no Buddha, you might protest. How can I be compared to him? All of us are but one question away from embarking on the path to enlightenment. It doesn't require formal education. You are born fully equipped to penetrate the mysteries of the universe, but you must inquire.
Very bold. So powerful, right? So simple, but so deep, right? We must inquire. Great people inquire. They don't wander aimlessly, right? Srimad Bhagavatam, I think it may come that better one moment of full consciousness than just wandering aimlessly in the journey of life from one species to the other, right? We may take millions of species. Any thoughts so far? Okay, let's read the next topic. This topic was what? Start your quest by asking questions, right? So to ask, where to ask. Human life is a journey, and it begins by asking the right questions. Karina, you want to read?
Hare Krishna. Ask big. The opening statement of the Vedanta Sutras is Atato Brahma Jignasa. Now that you are human, inquire about the ultimate truth. Ask, what is the purpose of life? Animals also ask questions, but mostly they just need to know how to survive, how to eat, sleep, mate, and depend. The yoga texts say that humans also need to ask survival questions, but to be happy, they must also ask bigger ones. Social scientist Abraham Maslow conceived about a hierarchy of needs in which he points out that to be happy, humans must strive to fulfill needs, self-actualization, for example, that that are above our needs for survival and comforts. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that a happy human is one who learns to control anger and lust. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2 10 states, be healthy, be balanced, but do so in a way that you can vigorously inquire about the purpose in your life. In short, eat to live, don't live to eat. The statement Ataho Brahma Janasa says to all humans, now is your chance to ask the big, important questions, ones that go beyond the survival or comfort of your body. These questions can also remind us that these physical bodies in which we reside are temporary. Why work just to eat? The Vedas ask. With just enough work, we can obtain our physical necessities. Due to artificial standards of living and political strife, humans can easily forget or be deprived of foodstuff that are abundantly available from the earth. The squirrels in my backyard here in California certainly work to get their necessities, but their needs are met plentifully in every season. In winter, they get a free new coat and persimmons to eat. In spring and summer, they choose among various fruits and nuts. In autumn, they reap the harvest and stash nuts for the oncoming winter. What about spiders? They literally hang out in webs, which they know how to build without instruction, and their food, bugs, are plentifully available. In undisturbed habitats, elephants find the tons of foliage they need to fill their bellies each day. Srimad Bhagavatam prompts us, use your human energy to pursue self-realization. Do I keep going, Prabhuji? You're mute.
Yeah, maybe you take a pause here so everyone can get a chance to read. The topic is ask the big question, right? That's what we are reading about. Let's see how. Okay. Oh, it ends here. Okay. So, Atar, you can read the last two paragraphs.
Okay. The yoga texts advise, become a master asker. Ask penetrating spiritual questions. Where do I come from? What is the ultimate purpose of life? Where am I going after death? The Bhagavatam tells us that as humans, our prime duty is to ask questions which leads us to spiritual discovery. The 4 questions will lead you to the solutions to life's fundamental problems and take you by hand onto the path of the enlightened beings.
Thank you, Atar. So, let's take some reflections from what we read. We have completed the, I guess, the introduction, and then we'll dive into the. Okay, there's a little bit more. Okay. Any thoughts so far? Become the master asker. Don't just ask silly questions. Give me example of some trivial questions, or I would not say trivial, but not so important in the absolute journey. Which show is going to come at 9 p.m. tonight, right? Which movie are you going to watch tomorrow, right? When will I get my new bicycle, right? When are we going for shopping? These are some practical questions. What's for lunch? What's for dinner? That animals also ask, right? When will I get married? When will I pass college? When will I pass the exam or fail? I'm not saying this is not important, but they're not in the eternal journey of the human being or the soul. It's very trivial, right? It does not matter, right? It doesn't mean we stop going to school and college or stop doing our duties. But what is being encouraged here that ask questions beyond food, clothing, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending is basically common for the animals as well. The squirrel, the spider, ask the big question. What is my purpose? What is the goal of my life? Why do I exist? Right? Okay. Any other thoughts? I would like one of you to jot down all the verses. You see, Prabhu is quoting some verses. He's not quoting the Sanskrit. He's not exactly quoting the translation, but in paraphrasing the translation. But I would like maybe one of you, if you wish, to take up this service. The verse number exists, the context exists. They're not many, maybe on an average 1 or 2 pages. So at the end, we'll have the list of whatever the important verses, maybe whatever that number could be, 30, 40. I would like, so the verse, the Sanskrit, Devanagari translation, just, and we can put a link on the Veda base, you'll find in the Veda base. Who would like to do this? Anyone feeling inspired? Vinita, Haribol, thank you. And it will help you only, right? It's for all of us, right? I'm not going to keep the list secretively with me. The list will be accessible, available to all of us. Okay? And I can assure that His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu will also be very happy with your service. Okay, so what you will do, basically, you'll make the list based on the theme, like the verses which come in, let's say, introduction. We got these 5 verses, right? You don't need to go in too many details. Introduction, we got this 5 verses. Then chapter 1 or question 1, we got these 4 verses or whatever. Okay, you can make a Google Doc and then we'll share it with everyone. And the numbers are in the list, like Bhagavatam 1.2.5, right? So Gita 4.3. So we saw some numbers here like 1.2.10. Okay. And if you need help or have any questions, feel free to message me. Okay, I've said this multiple times, but I'm saying it again. If you would like to read and your chance has not come, please raise your hand. There's an electronic hand which doesn't pain if you keep it raised until your turn comes. That helps me to see who has not read and would like to read. Okay. Yes, so Lakshay can read the metaphysical questions.
The metaphysical question, why? On with the question who, what, when, and where. We explore and navigate the world. Then there is the standout metaphysical question, why? Which can take us beyond the world of matter. Why questions take us to the realm of purpose, motive, and free will, which are beyond the elements and mechanics of the physical world. Some people doubt the need for asking why because they feel that we should accept as reality only those things that we can perceive with our 5 material senses. Therefore, they say the search for our spiritual selves or our relationship with the supreme is futile. For example, the late particle physicist Victor Stenger in his 2007 book God, The Failed Hypothesis, subtitled How Science
shows that God does not exist, dismisses the idea of a cosmic purpose or the need for a supreme entity. Stenger and other atheists warn that belief is a transcendent reality in blind faiths because such a reality is not perceivable by our present senses.
Ansh, you want to read till
Okay,
here?
Prabhuji. From where?
From the beginning.
Nonetheless, humans have always asked why. We naturally hanker to understand the purpose. We naturally hanker to understand the purpose of our lives. It is not then reasonable to question where is the yearning, this natural human yearning comes from. When we feel thirsty, we naturally search for water. An urge indicates that an element to fulfill that urge must exist, because one cannot exist without the other. Wisdom literatures say that our natural urge for meaning, for understanding the purpose of life, similarly indicates that a metaphysical dimension must exist. Such exploration is therefore not futile but reasonable. Doubt is that one of the important functions of the intelligence, right, Srila Prabhupada? Blind acceptance of something does not give evidence of intelligence. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.26.30. Doubt then is meant to bring us to a single pointed focus on which is most valuable in life.
People. Any thoughts here? So Prabhu is addressing that some people outrightly say, hey, I can't see this, so that means it does not exist, right? But there's a logical flaw in that reasoning. If I say God does not, what is the flaw? Vedi, you're nodding your head. So what's the flaw?
Oh, I was thinking kind of you can't really see. They study like such like atoms and stuff, but you can't see that with the naked eye unless you have like a really fine, like super high-tech microscope.
Yeah,
Then it's like you use their logic against them when you said that.
so true. Thank you. And what Prabhu mentioned in one of the interviews that if I say there is nothing beyond this, there's nothing beyond what I can comprehend through my senses, that means I know more than the one who created everything, right? That means I am the supreme knower. If I saying there is nothing beyond this, that means I know everything, right? That's a logical flaw. So are you all knower? Do you know everything? Who can say that? Only God, right? We don't know a tiny thing, why my head is aching, why am I, sometimes we don't know so many things about our own self, what to speak of saying, hey, there's nothing beyond this. Sorry, be humble, right? We are not the supreme. There is someone else. That position is already taken. Sorry. Don't try to compete with that position. Prabhu also mentioned about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You might study later in future in your schools and colleges too. The bottommost in the pyramid is the physiological needs, right? Like food, water, a place to live, etc., clothing. Then comes the safety needs, security, employment, resources, health, property. Then, beyond that, one starts to think about family, friendship, husband, wife, children, parents, all those. And then comes, oh, I need to be respected, self-esteem, recognition, right? Mhm. And then finally, the needs, self-actualization, right? These are, most people are not even coming up to that level to even think or comprehend, right? Desire to become the most that one can be, right? To reach to our fullest potential, and that's actually bhakti. What is our best potential? To understand who we are, right? And to reach to our max potential. And max potential means to become a pure devotee, because that's who we are. So we are very fortunate in one way, right? How many of us really have to worry about, will I get food tonight? Will I get a place to sleep tonight? So in one way, we are fortunate, right? Many people don't even have those things, those basic needs. So therefore, their whole thing, their whole journey is about getting a place to live and getting some food. But we are grateful because of past karma. We are born in a certain place, in a certain family, in a certain with certain resources, that we don't have to worry about that, at least, right? But that we should not take it for granted, and rather focus on the higher dimensions. And that's what we read about, the metaphysical. Go beyond this physical, you know, um, things, and try to go deeper. That's what human life can do, not others. Okay, so let's go and read from this point. Who has not yet read? This one, Sheetal Mataji, or who has?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Please.
Hare Krishna. Blind doubt. The bumper sticker question authority also warns about blind faith and suggests that we do not accept authority until we examine it. The evil twin of blind faith, however, is blind doubt. Those who blindly doubt are also faulty. They rule out things that seem unlikely because the subject is beyond their perceptual horizon. A boy looks at the horizon and declares it to be the world's edge. The boy's father explains that beyond the horizon are other continents not perceivable by the naked eye, but the boy doubles down on his opinion. The yoga teachings urge us not to double down on our doubts after we receive plausible explanations. As the bumper sticker question authority also suggests, when viewed from a different angle, we should question authority but with the intention to learn. That is, we should ask questions of those qualified to provide us with reliable answers. As Srila Prabhupada writes, doubting is not very favorable when information is received from the proper source. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.26.30 purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says that doubting the words of a well vetted authority is non productive. Those who overcome both blind faith and blind doubt are then able to heartedly hear reasonable explanations about the secrets that lie beyond the purview of our limited senses. Haribol.
Haribol. Any thoughts, reflections, my dear friends? Thank you, Sheetal Mataji, for reading this section.
Prabhuji, our senses are imperfect. Like there's a comparison of that boy who sees the horizon and he understands that, or he thinks that there is nothing beyond that horizon. But the boy's father is explaining that there may be other places that are beyond the horizon. So maybe the right authority when we get the answers from the right authority, then we should not doubt or question.
People. Yeah. So not have blind faith, that's one evil. And the other side is blind doubt, right? Okay. We'll read this.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Sure, please.
Yeah. The infinite can reveal itself to us. Why should we remain open-minded? Logically, that which is infinite has the power to reveal itself to the finite. If you say that it cannot, then you have limited the infinite, which is contradictory. Although it is not possible to understand the infinite by finite means, empirical science, if the infinite wills to reveal itself to the finite, then it can be understood. In the words of Srila Prabhupada, all forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. And the complete whole can give complete knowledge to its parts, us, because it has that power. By asking the right questions in the right mood, a finite being rightfully appeals to the infinite to reveal itself. This universal non-sectarian spiritual process is found, for instance, in the New Testament. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks, the door will be opened.
Very well, thank you.
Very good.
You're joining from India? Where are you joining from?
Prabhuji from Aurora, Chicago, Naperville.
Oh, okay, sorry. I know never. Okay. I thank you, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna. So the point here was, what was the key point in this?
We are finite and we cannot understand infinite. If infinite wants to reveal us, we can understand about the infinite.
Very well. A lot of finites and infinite, right? Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashita, right? We are Anu. Krishna is Vibhu, right? The Sanskrit terms. Anu, infinitesimal, right? But if God chooses, if Krishna chooses to reveal, then what is impossible for him, right? There's so many stories. He can pass elephant through the eye of the needle, right? You've heard that story multiple times, heard. So he can choose to reveal himself to us if we have the right attitude. But if we say, no, I know everything, God is not there, I know better, bring God in front of me if he's there. That attitude, he's not our beggar. He may become our servant if we choose to serve him, because Krishna becomes the servant of his servant for those who serve in the path of bhakti yoga. Then he chooses to reveal himself to like Arjuna, to Vishwadama, to other devotees, right? So let's read a little more. Anita Mataji, you want to read this section?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. The unexamined life. As stated by the Greek philosopher Socrates, the unexamined life is not worth living. Conversely, we can also say that the examined life is inestimably valuable because it has the potential to connect us to the metaphysical realm, that which is beyond the limitations and frailties of this material universe. According to the Yoga Wisdom text, reaching the metaphysical realm is the purpose of human life, and our questions begin our journey to that realm. Just as Socrates led his student to wisdom by inducing them to ask questions, we can similarly tread the path to enlightenment by asking. Shall I read, Prabhuji? Continue reading.
Sure, you can read this section also.
Okay. The quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. In the quest towards self-realization, the quality of your question is vital. As author Edward Hodnett puts it, if you do not ask the right questions, you do not get the right answers. If you ask trivial questions, you will get trivial answers. By deliberately asking meaningful questions with precision, you can expand your consciousness and enhance the quality of your life. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the teacher Sukadev appreciates a student's question: what should he do to prepare for death? My dear king, Sukadev answers, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists. Some corporations inspire their team members to ask questions in order to probe deeper and improve their operations. Fast Company, a magazine that tracks successful businesses, reports Google's culture encourages asking questions and sharing information. Their goal is to have happier employees, and they have found that when employees are allowed to ask questions, they get clarity, which leads to greater efficiency and quality in their work. Questions have more than once changed the course of history. Sir Isaac Newton's question about why apples fall from trees led to his description of gravity. If the apple falls, he asked, does the moon also fall? This simple question led to Newton describing gravity and to break through in the laws of classical mechanics, which set off a chain reaction in science and led to the Industrial Revolution. Albert Einstein's question, what would happen if I rode a beam of light, led to his theory of relativity, which changed the way we view space and time. Ask an important question, expand your world. You are lifted to the level of your questions. The quality of your question determines the quality of your life. Leave life to generate deep questions. Albert Einstein's advice, the important thing is to not stop questioning. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. What was the key point there? The quality of our life is determined by the quality of our questions. So don't focus on trivial questions. Why you gave me vanilla? I wanted strawberry. I'm so upset with that, right? Life is meant for something big. So we'll pause here. But I would like everyone to, we're on right track for 10 sessions, right? So by this pace, we'll keep complete on 10 sessions. So we're already done with 2. Good luck, good job. So 20%, right? So now, but the goal is not to just complete the book, but assimilate. So I will post out a handout in the Teams, in the Google Classroom. And I would like everyone to share at least 1 or 2 points. What struck you today? What you liked from today's reading? It will help us to go deeper. Okay, so we'll pause here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.